Hi and welcome to King Crochet. Today I'm going to teach you how to make this headband scarf thing. So this one actually I made for my daughter, so she's been wearing it for a few weeks. But it is using front post double crochet, which you learned in the last video if you've been following along with the series. So I'm going to show you how to make this. I won't make a full length one on the tutorial, but I will show you what's up. So for this project I used this yarn. It's Arcania, I don't know how to pronounce that, Alumco, and this has actually been discontinued, but this one's like a 3-weight yarn, so a lightweight, and I used just over 1 skein of it to make this. So I used 3.65 ounces total and a size H hook. If I didn't make the tassels with the same yarn, I actually would have had enough to do it with just 1 skein. So to make this pattern, I'm going to start with a chain 3, and this is going to count as my first double crochet, and then I'm going to do 2 double crochet in the very first chain. So now that counts as 3 double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 3, and the chain 3 always counts as a double crochet. The chain 1, when we get to the later rows, does not count as a single crochet, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to chain 3 and turn. I'm going to double crochet in the same stitch because I want to increase. And double crochet in the next stitch. And then 2 double crochet in the last stitch in that turning chain. So now you should have 5 double crochet. Alright, in the next row I'm going to chain 1, and remember that does not count as a single crochet. So I'm going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch. 1, 2. Now I'm going to do a front post double crochet. Then a single crochet, front post double crochet, and then 2 single crochet in the turning chain. So now after this row I should have 7 stitches total, and you can see the pattern starting to emerge. I've got my 2 front post double crochets right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to chain 3 and turn. This counts as my first double crochet in the same stitch because I'm still increasing. Then I'm going to double crochet across, and then I'll do 2 double crochet in the last stitch in the turn chain. And this particular yarn likes to split a little bit, so I'm having some trouble. So now at the end of this row I should have 9 stitches. So I did 2 double crochet in the first and the last stitch because I'm increasing. Okay, now the next row I'll chain 1. That does not count as my first single crochet, so I'm going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch. 1, 2. I'm going to do a front post double crochet. And a single crochet. Front post double crochet. Single crochet. Front post double crochet, single crochet, front post double crochet, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochet in my last turning chain because I'm still on an increasing row. Alright, now chain 3, and that counts as my first double crochet. I'm going to turn it around, double crochet in the same stitch, because I'm still increasing. Now I'm just going to double crochet across. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 2 double crochet in my turning chain. So that'll be 12, 13 stitches. Alright, I'm almost done with my increase rows. So my chain 1 does not count as a single crochet. See, the back of it, you don't really see the post stitches, so it is not really a double-sided fabric. It's not the same on both sides. But on this side, you can see the post stitches popping up here. Okay, so this is my last increase row. I'm going to do 2 single crochet in my first stitch, then a front post double crochet. Now I'm going to alternate single crochet and front post double crochet all the way across this row. And then 2 single crochet in my turn chain because I am increasing. So now I should have 15 stitches on this row, and this is my last row of increases. So now that I've finished the increases, I'm just going to work straight. And this pattern, it's a little hard to see the detail. If you did the last lesson, then you saw this already, but this is a sample worked in just a solid fabric. This is Caron Simply Soft yarn, and you can really see the ridges and the texture, and I just really love this fabric that it makes. So the back, you don't really see that, but the front you do, and it just makes a really fun scarf. Now before I go on, if you wanted to make this wider, because it's only about 3 inches to 3.5 inches wide depending on your fabric and how much you stretch it, if you wanted to make this wider, you can really easily. You'll just do another increase row with double crochet coming back, and then an increase row with the 2 single crochet and alternating with the front post, just like we did for here. So you can make it as wide as you want, really, but for this pattern, this is how far I went. So now it's just a 2-row repeat. So for this row, I'm just going to do chain 3, that's my double crochet, and now because I'm not increasing, I'm not going to work into the same stitch there, so I'm going to skip that first stitch because that counts as a double crochet, and I'm going to work in the next one, and then I'm just going to double crochet all the way across. So every row you do where the back side is facing you, it's just double crochet across. And remember that the turning chain on the single crochet row doesn't count as a stitch, but the very first single crochet does. So make sure, if you're not sure whether to work in that, just count your stitches and make sure you have 15. Every row should have 15 stitches, so 1. Alright, and then I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So this is my front post double crochet and single crochet alternating row. So now I'm going to start with a single crochet, and then I will do a front post double crochet, and then I will just alternate front post double crochet with single crochet all the way across the row. And this yarn, I love it, it's just gorgeous, but it is so splitty. I keep splitting it. Maybe that's why it got discontinued, I don't know. It's just got such a pretty sheen to it. It's a viscose cotton blend. And once you get in the groove of this pattern, like, it's so simple, and it's kind of relaxing to do. You just get into a groove. And it's a short repeat, so it goes really fast. So that makes it just a great project to work on when you need a little mental break, I guess I would say. My yarn's running away. Alright, so there's another row straight. I'll do 2 more rows and then I'll show you how to decrease it for the other end. So again, I've got my row of double crochets. My chain 3 counts as my first one. Then I'll go across. Now I didn't give a certain number of rows or a certain number of times to repeat this. You just go until you're about 2 to 3 inches short of where you want to finish without the tassels. So just imagine how much space you need to leave to have the decrease end, and then stop increasing there. So again, I'm not increasing or decreasing here. I'm just working single crochet and front post double crochet alternating across the front side and double crochets across the back side when I do this repeat. It's a simple 2-pattern repeat. And remember, this pattern you can get for free on my blog in a written format, or you can purchase a PDF copy. And there are links in the description of the video for all of those things. I would love to see your pictures. If you're on Ravelry, you can post a project on there and I'll see it, or you can tag me on Instagram at kickin_crochet, or find me on Facebook, or you can just email me. It's Mary@kickincrochet. So there's lots of ways to get in touch, and I'd love to see your projects. Okay, so now let's pretend that this is my scarf. Now my original scarf measured about 61 inches total, so I would work this pattern until it was about 58, 59 inches long, somewhere around there. And now I'm going to do the decrease to get to the other end. Okay, so when I do the decrease, I start with a chain 2, and I don't actually count that in my stitch count, just gets me kind of up to the height a little bit. But I am going to not work in that first stitch, so that's really counting like a decrease. Then I'm going to double crochet 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now it's going to be a double crochet 2 together, so yarn over, insert, pull up a loop and pull through 2, yarn over in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and then I'll finish this by yarning over and pulling through all 3. So now that should be 13 stitches if you're not counting that turn chain. Alright, so I'm going to chain 1, which again does not count as a single crochet, but now I'm just going to skip that first stitch. I'm not going to work anything in that first stitch. Now I'm going to start with a front post double crochet, and remember that these 2 posts are both part of the same stitch. So when I say I'm skipping that first stitch, I'm skipping this whole front post double crochet, or sorry, this double crochet 2 together. So I'm going to work a front post double crochet in this next double crochet here. And I'm going to work single crochet and front post double crochet across till my last 2 stitches. And here, remember I said that turn chain on the double crochet row did not count as a stitch. So here are my last 2 stitches. Now what I'm going to do is, it's like a front post double crochet / single crochet 2 together. So the way I do that is I yarn over, I'll go around this post just like for a front post double crochet, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2, but I'm not going to finish the double crochet. Now I'm going to insert my hook in the next stitch like for a single crochet, yarn over and pull up a loop, and now I'm going to finish all 3 of these together by yarning over and pulling through all 3. So now I should be down to 11 stitches. I'm going to chain 2 and not count that as a stitch, but I am going to skip that first stitch. I'm going to double crochet 8, I want to say. And then I will do a double crochet 2 together. And then I will chain 1 and turn. I'm going to skip my first stitch, which includes both parts of that decrease. Then I'm going to start with a front post double crochet. Single crochet. Again, I'm going to do this across until my last 2 stitches. So if you made your scarf wider, you will just do these decrease rows however many extra times you need to until you get down to the right length, but every decrease row follows the same basic pattern. So I'll end this one with a combination of a front post double crochet that I stop there, and then I do a single crochet together. Okay, next row is a double crochet row, skip the first stitch. I do 4 double crochet this time. Every row I lose 2 stitches because I'm doing a decrease or skipping a stitch at the very beginning of the row and doing a decrease at the end of the row. And this row, skipping the first stitch, front post double crochet in the next one, single crochet, and then my front post double crochet / single crochet decrease. Alright, and now we are on the last row. So I'm going to chain 2, skipping the first stitch, and I'm just double crocheting 2 together. I just totally messed up. And then I would finish this off. I'm not actually going to tie this off because, I mean, it's kind of a nice little teardroppy shape thing. It's almost like a Christmas ornament, right? But imagine that this was really long in the middle, and I have my starting increase and my ending decrease, and now the only thing left, once I tie that off, would be to add tassels. So these are optional, but I do think they make it fun. It kind of feels unfinished to leave it off there. But because I don't actually want to cut this yarn for this sample, I'm going to use a different yarn to show you how to make the tassel. So I'm going to grab some scissors real quick. Okay, so I've got this lovely blue yarn, and however long I want the tassels to be, I'm going to make this about twice as long. And then I just loop it back and forth between my fingers until I have as many strands as I want. Well, I guess half as many strands as I want, because this will get folded in half. So however thick you want your tassel to be, make this half as thick. So let's say that's how big I want my tassel. I'm going to cut this off. Now, depending on how the bottom of your project looks, one thing to note is that it's going to look a little nicer if you reach in from the back. So this is my front, you can see all the ridges, so this is the back. So I'm going to reach from the back with my hook. So you can try and stick it through this little chain if you have enough space, but you are totally welcome to just reach between these double crochets where you're going to have a bigger hole to pull this needle through. So grab this in the middle, and you might want to grab a larger size crochet hook for this, but just pull that against there and through that loop. Don't pull it all the way through, you just want to pull the loop through so you can reach. I'll take the hook out, put my fingers through there. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these tails and pull them through. And I usually will grab this tail and pull it through also, so that I can just use it as part of the tassel. If you make the tassel out of a different yarn, which can be awesome, then you might not want to do that. And then just snug it up. And see how now I've got this on the front, this nice band, instead of this. This will be the back. So this is just a super, super easy way to add tassels. And then you can tighten it up. And then the last step, if you want to, you could just leave them as loops, but I'll usually go through and cut the loops. Yeah, sometimes I miss some, but it doesn't really matter. And if you're really picky about it, you can cut this so it's nice and even. That was totally crooked, but you get the idea. Theoretically, that would be even. I have this tendency to make things crooked and then try and even them out, and then pretty soon I have this teeny tiny little tassel. But that's my problem, probably not your problem. Okay, so that is how to make the Mia Infinity, or not Infinity, but headband scarf. And I hope you like this. I hope you have a lot of fun, and I hope you share your projects with me so that I can see them. I can't wait to see them. Happy crochet!